Hey everyone, welcome to Shimmer Girl Talks. I got this from Facebook. The poster is Nikki Fox. I am going to read what she wrote and then I'm going to chime in. My daughter bought me a car back in April. Yesterday she texted me saying she was coming to pick it up. So of course I called her, confused. She proceeds to tell me her man's motor went out and he needs a car. I reminded her that the car was bought for me and that I've been paying the note every single month since April. She told me none of that matters because she put the $5,000 down payment and the car is in her name. So technically it's her car. Then she said if I don't hand over the keys, she'll report it stolen. This is the same daughter who knows how badly I needed that car just to get to and from work. I never thought the lesson I'd learned this year would be that sometimes the people you sacrifice the most for are the ones who will take from you without flinching. I can replace a car, but I don't know how you replace the moment you realize your own child would rather see you stranded than disappoint a man. I'm going to step on some toes with this, might even trigger some people, but oh well. So I have several thoughts here, so I'm going to try to get them all out. Hopefully I don't miss anything. First of all, it is not really a child's obligation to take care of their parent. Many Black people, male and female, have been put into positions of having to bail our mothers out. A lot of these Black women who talk about how they don't need a husband, they're not pressed for marriage, they don't need a man. One reason why they're able to say that is because they ultimately get the help that they want and need from their children. You have the son husbands, and then quite a few months ago, I did a video on how many Black women are the way that they are. It started from home first with our mothers. And I remember this lady, she took offense to that. She got triggered, which of course, Black women always get triggered when they're called out about stuff. So I said many times Black women are often put in a surrogate, even a daughter is put into a surrogate husband's position with a single mother. Now, I don't know if this Nikki Fox is a single mother or not, but let's assume that she is. If she had a spouse, a husband, she would not have to lean so heavily on her daughter to have bought her a car. And let me say this. I say this as a woman who gave my mother a car. My mother's a single mother. And I don't want to go too much into, personal stuff, but I was raised by a single mother, which is one reason why my platform is the way that it is. It's not all roses and honey and sweet things the way these single mothers out here try to act like it is. I'm Gen X, so I grew up during a time when being a single mother was still pretty much frowned upon. But as a teen and into my early 20s, there were a lot, and I do mean a lot, of responsibilities that were placed on me that should not have been placed on me as the daughter. I was supposed to be the one to be taken care of, not the other way around. And I see that a lot. Let's use Ashley from Married to Medicine. She's a harlot. I'm sorry. She was a gold digger. When she was married to her husband, he was footing the bill for her mother and some bum that her mother was laying up with. That's what they put in the universe on TV. So I'm just responding to that. So you have a lot of daughters and sons who are guilt tripped into taking care of their parent, usually a mother. And you have some mothers that will say things like, I could have abandoned you, but I didn't. I took care of you when you couldn't take care of yourself. But you're the one that had me. It's not my responsibility to take care of you. That's your husband's responsibility, for you to be able to lean on him. So going back to this woman bringing all of this to Facebook, your daughter didn't have to buy you that car. So it's so much more that I want to say around that, but I'll leave it there. Now, the daughter is wrong in that she is giving her car to, is it a boyfriend? Didn't say nothing about a husband. Now, if it was her husband, that's one thing. But a boyfriend, I don't know what I do know. I would never be an Indian giver. I know that's not politically correct to say nowadays, but back in the day, we used to say Indian giver. You give somebody something and then you take it back. But I would have never put myself in a position to be giving a whole boyfriend a car. I would never do something like that. So it just seems like this mother and the daughter are just, out of pocket anyway. Seems like possibly daughter raised by a single mother, all of that goes along with being a single mother. And now she's living with a boyfriend. She's not his wife. And she's giving, him her car. I don't agree with that either. I don't agree with a child. Okay. You watch a lot of these, switching gears here. You watch a lot of these athletes, for example. And one of the things that they'll say is, yeah, well, when I get rich, I'm going to buy my mother a house. It always seems to be these black athletes that want to get their mother off of Section 8 or out of the projects. And that's one reason, I don't know if I mentioned it here, but I'm going to mention it again. That's one reason why so many black women will fix their mouths to say how much they don't need a man, because they're utilizing their children as surrogate spouses. That's why they're able to say that, because there's always a bailout for them. So I just wanted to chime in on that. Tell me what you all think. Was the daughter wrong to take the car back from her mother, knowing that her mother needed the car? And here's the thing. Obviously, you don't want to see your parents struggling, et cetera, et cetera. But a lot of times people put themselves, you hear that saying, single by choice. A lot of times it's single by choices. Just like, when you see people down bad in life, there were choices that got them to that situation. And again, they always seem to have a bailout. And I'm not saying you can't bail out a parent or bail out people if that's what you want to do. But a parent also should not be making their child feel guilty. She didn't have to buy her mother a car. She wasn't obligated to buy her mother a car, but she did it. But then on the flip side, she should not be giving her car to an able-bodied man either. So we don't know if, it was a temporary thing. Okay, well, let him use it for a month, until he gets his motor fixed. Then I'll give the car back to you. But that wasn't mentioned. There's a man that I see leaving my job sometime, even in the wintertime. He gets it's not a skateboard. It's like a motorized skateboard type thing. Where there's a will, there's a way. I remember hearing a story from a friend of mine. I don't know how I got this story, where it was a man in her family who rode the bike 16 miles each way to work and to take care of his family. A lot of these women out here are raising soft men who are being taken care of by women, but then they're raising their daughters to be, strong, and resilient and all of that. That man can get on a bus if there's a bus line. He can, take a bike to work. There's a man in my neighborhood. We leave the house around the same time. I'm in my car. He's on a bike. So there are a lot of ways. I was on the bus line for years. I hated it, but I was on the bus line for years until I was able to do better in my life. So this is just a whole, sounds like the mother is entitled. Even she can get on the bus. She should not have had to lean on her daughter for a car. That's just my opinion. Tell me what you think, and I'll talk to you later.